please put in the comments #replay. Give me just a minute to get things set up for YouTube and Facebook. Here we are. Hi, Shar. As you pop on, tell me hi, tell me what you're working on, where you're calling from. I'm just going to say that from now on, where you're calling from. No replay. Hi, Malcolm. Hi, Joyce. All right, I'm going to try and see if I can get the comments on YouTube at the same time. I'm not sure how to do that, though. Well, I'll try. So you might be able to find me on YouTube. You might be able to find me on Facebook. I just can't figure out how to see the chat in YouTube. So I'll have to stick with Facebook because I know how to use that and how to talk to you all there. I was just reading things on how to get a little bit more efficient and a little bit more professional with the whole setup. And clearly I'm not there yet, but maybe that's why you guys love me. Okay, let's see. Joyce, Sarah, Diane. Hi, Aunt Jackie. Aunt Jackie, I heard you were a little bit panicked last week when I wasn't on. I tried to warn all of you. I missed being on though. I missed chatting with everybody. Julie, Susan, Joyce finished your socks. Excellent. Nicole, Marcina, Jackie. Oh man. I'm curious how many of you are working on your Stephen West mystery knit along, the twists and turns. Give me like one of the emojis, like a heart or a thumbs up or something if you're working on this year's mystery knit along from Stephen West. I know Chandra is, Marcina is, Leslie, I don't know if you've started yours yet. Karen and I am, Holly is, lots of us. So Mary Frame from Mount Pleasant, hi. So it's a little bit later, it's after 7, so I'll go ahead and get started officially. Welcome to Monday Motivation. Today is Monday, October 24th. My name is Kristen. I am the owner of the Little Yarn Shop located in downtown Saginaw, Michigan, inside the SVRC Marketplace. Oh, you guys are giving me all kinds of emojis. I like it. Marketplace hours are Wednesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. That goes for everybody inside. As far as the outdoor farmers market, they are open Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. And I believe Saturday is their last day for the season. We've got a lot going on here on Saturday, which would be the 29th. One of which I'll talk about a little bit later. So, but they're completely separate from us. So everybody inside is year round. We've got some new vendors coming, so we'll chat about that a little bit too. I am, as I'm sitting here knitting, I've got my simple as hat that I did quite a while back. I started quite a while back. You guys haven't seen it in a while. It's the only thing I have right now that's just an easy knit that I don't have to look at when I'm chatting with everybody. So Melissa is not on with me tonight. She is starting a new job and I think out to dinner with her new coworkers tonight. So I'm flying solo, which is another reason I'm a little flustered with what I'm doing. Lisa, oh yeah, you're working on your Stephen West. For anybody that's working on their mystery knit along who is on their first clue, please just keep going. It gets so much more fun after that first clue. I think what Karen and I determined was that the clue itself is it requires your attention, but it's not really mentally engaging. So just kind of a weird mix. But so far, the rest of it, I'm having a really fun time with. Karen from Shreveport, Louisiana. Awesome. Hello. So speaking of Stephen West, we can go ahead and talk about what I'm working on. So for those of you who don't know, Stephen West is a pattern designer. Thank you, Julie, you're on the ball. Every year he hosts a mystery knit along. So every week for 4 weeks, we get a portion of the pattern in clue form, without really knowing what it's going to look like, other than knowing it would have 3 colors and take 5 skeins of yarn and be a shawl. So I am caught up to date. I had some free time this weekend. This last clue, once I got into the little twists and turns, Julie almost done with clue 1, Lisa almost done with clue 1. Oh no, Lisa had to frog some. Karen told me about that all of a sudden you realized your increases were off. So clue 1 looked like that. Just these little chevronies with little loops down at the bottom. Clue 2 added these 2 side panels, including some cables down at the bottom. Clue 3 embellished those little cables with fun little I-cord pieces and had us knit these long, I don't know. I took a picture of it all laid out last night and sent it to Melissa, and it does feel a little bit like a bat. If what I think is going to happen next week happens, or this week, actually, since it's Monday, with the final clue, I think it'll look less like a bat by the time we're done. But right now it's almost like the bat with the little arms hanging out and everything. So, Lisa, thank you. Lisa said, loved your colors. Thank you so much. I'm so happy with it. Again, I tried, like I did with the Sharon Air, the Casapinka knit along. I tried to pick colors that aren't my normal go-to for shawls. You guys know I like my bright shawls, the pinks and the jewel tones. But I also really wanted to feature our custom yarn, that blue yarn. So I think this does a pretty good job of showing it off, since at some point Julie will probably want her sweater back. So my philosophy is, I don't want this to turn into a stressful thing where you feel like you're having to race to get things done in order to keep up. Karen and I chatted a little bit about next year setting it up so we kind of do our own in-shop knit along, where we work on one clue for 2 weeks straight. This was a lot of knitting, even for those of us who knit quite a bit. I haven't really had much time to knit on anything except this for the last 3 weeks. But this is the up close of that little last clue. The little twists and turns, zigzaggies. He says, don't worry about the fact that it's going to curl. Here's what I think is going to happen, you guys. Thank you. I think for this last clue, we are going to be picking up along this I-cord edge of this little strip and knitting up. With all of these being live stitches on either side, my philosophy is we're going to be knitting and picking up one of these stitches each time until we get up to the top. So this will be, instead of a gap where my head is, it will be a big piece of fabric. We'll see. So far, every time I've tried to guess what's coming next, I've been wrong. So who knows? I definitely do not know how his mind works. And I'm completely stumped as to what he's going to do with these little loops. You can't just leave them hanging out there because they would come undone. Early on, I said I thought maybe he would put tassels on there. He doesn't seem like he's much into doing pom-poms, tassels, things like that. So I don't think that's what he would do. Again, who knows? So that's the twists and turns mystery knit along. I dug through and finally found the rest of the one ball of yarn for my No Need to Panic sweater, my Casapinka sweater. one long sleeve, one short sleeve. I'm finally going to put another long sleeve on it. I think it's about time. Other than the last couple days, it's been sweater weather already. I'm not complaining about the last couple days because the warm weather is right up my alley. I'm not ready for fall, full on fall, like 50-degree, 40-degree days. I could take days like yesterday and today for a little bit. That's for sure. See, I did bring some of that sunshine back from California. It just took a week to get here. It was on the slow train. So the only thing is, I'm not sure if what I have here is going to be enough to finish a sleeve. My guess is no, because I have to knit that much of a sleeve. I mean, they're 3/4 length sleeves, so it's not a ton. But I had to pull another skein from off the wall, and I don't know, sometimes things on camera look a little bit better than they do, or give me a better visual than they do in person. They look pretty similar though. I have no idea if they're the same dye lot because I can't find any of my labels. Of course, it's not in the middle. So I don't know if it's the same dye lot or not. And of course, I don't put that information on Ravelry. So that's what I'm working on. What did I finish? What did I finish? And what I'm wearing are the same thing. So I finally, I'm going to do this. I'm going to put sleeves on all the things all at once. I finally finished my Stillwater sweater. I did post pictures of it, but I haven't actually shown it off for everybody to see. I don't think I have anyway. I love the sleeve length. It's, I don't know. I think Karen calls it a bracelet length. It's meant to not have a big collar on it. It's meant to kind of lay flat and stay open. I'm really, really happy with how it turned out. You can see, I didn't alternate skeins very often on it. Let me get my hair out of the way. I did just a little bit of blending when I started a new skein. Like if it looked like I had, oh, I don't know, 4 or 5 rows left of my first skein, or the skein that I'm actively using, I would then start striping the second one in for a couple rows. Oh, and now it's warm in here, you guys. I was trying to wear my hair down and it's been chilly in here. It's crazy. Wearing wool warms you up. So this is 3 different skeins on the back, and you can kind of see the light, the top doesn't have the pinks the way the bottom does, but it's very subtle. This is done in a worsted weight yarn. What I used was Earth Harvest worsted. So it's a natural dyed, this one is blueberry, so it's dyed with blueberries, which I think is fun. And that was the very first sweater knit along that Marie Green did. So I'm really happy with how that turned out. I have to show you guys because it's been getting quite a bit of attention in the shop, and it got quite a bit of attention when I posted it on Show Off Your Faux Friday. Christina knit this cowl called Cold Sand by Melanie Rice. It's originally written for one color, just to be a solid color. It's written for a skein of sport weight yarn. Specifically, it was written for Malabrigo Arroyo, which you all know I have a lot of. But we decided to mix it up a little bit and use 2 colors, put 1 color on the lace. And I don't know, can you guys see that? Look at that. So it is short rows. The yarn that she used is the Variations DK. Oh, nothing is focusing. My Facebook one might focus a little bit. So her main color was black pearl, and her little pop of color was almost Alexandrite. oh, it looks like on Facebook I'm getting really, really good color. It's just this gorgeous purple. I don't even know what to call it. It's like that royal purple color. It's definitely one that would lend itself to one or two solid colors versus a variegated yarn. A variegated yarn, I think you would really lose the beauty of the lace. So it is short rows. It's knit in a similar way to how Andrea Mowry knit her the shift cowl. Sorry, I got distracted. I just got a pop up about an email, and it was about November's pop-up club. So, I have something else to talk about next week, like I ever run out of things to talk about. So short rows, lace. Christina said it's one of those where if you do what the pattern says to do, it comes out the way it's supposed to. So don't overthink it, I guess was the main thing that she said about it. The variations yarn has less yardage on it. So if you were to do it in one color, like if you were to just do it in the purple or in the dark gray, you would need 2 skeins. So my guess is if you did it out of one skein of a royal, you would use every last little bit. But it's done flat and then seamed up the back. So you don't even have to do anything in the round. And she really didn't do anything other than when she got to the lace section, changing colors. And you do that just as simply as if you were adding a new skein of yarn, whether it's the same color or a different color. So I think it turned out really, really beautiful. Oh, give me a second. Take a drink of my gallon of milk as Malcolm said. So we'll chat a little bit about what I've been up to, and then I'll talk about what's new in the shop. Let me grab my knitting while we chat. It's been 3 weeks since I've chatted with you all. The first week I missed, we were in California, and I actually looked at my watch because it's a 3-hour time difference. I looked at my watch at about 3:45, and 4 o'clock would have been 7 o'clock our time. And we were at the beach, and I thought, yeah, another 15 minutes. If Victoria and I are just hanging out on the beach, maybe I'll go live. Then I fell asleep. So that didn't exactly happen, but we had a fantastic time. We were out there celebrating my aunt and uncle's 50th wedding anniversary. Saw lots of family. Many of you know I have a huge family. My mom's one of 13. I have 40 some first cousins on that side of the family. So lots of extended family, and a lot of them are on the West Coast and don't get to the Midwest very often. So I got to see some cousins and their significant others that I haven't seen in a while. That was a lot of fun. I went to 2 different yarn stores. Melissa was house sitting and dog sitting for us while we were gone, and she dealt with way more than she signed up for. The very first day we left, our fridge decided to go on the fritz and stop working. So needless to say, we were beyond thankful that we had somebody staying at the house and that we didn't come back a week later to a fridge and freezer of just gross stuff. So as a way to thank her, I said, you know, we're in wine country and we were going to go wine tasting. I said, are you a wine drinker? And she said, not really. If I drink a wine, maybe a Moscato, which she's my kind of girl. I'm not really a wine drinker that much either. So my thought was either I was going to get her some really good wine or some really good yarn. So you guys know what I decided on. So when some of the family went one way and went to a couple different wineries, vineyards, I guess. My husband and V and I went to a yarn store. We found a cute little town I don't even remember the name of it. I can't remember. Los Altos, I think it was. Just a cute little town. We had great lunch, wandered around, found the yarn store. I actually ended up having to go back in and buy more yarn, having to. You guys, I shop the same way you do. I did buy some souvenir yarn. That's my goal whenever I go anywhere. And I've said this before, but don't feel guilty. I have some customers who feel guilty that say, well, I was out of town and I bought yarn somewhere else. Don't feel guilty about that. I appreciate every person that supports the shop and buys from us. But I also understand, I mean, what better thing to have as a souvenir than some really cool yarn from a place that you visited. I was just looking at a lot of mine the other day, trying to decide what I'm going to do. I think I might do a mitered square blanket, but that would leave a lot of extra. So maybe I'll make some things and then use my leftovers for a mitered square blanket. That might be a better option. Those will all be my retirement projects once I don't have access to all of this yarn 24/7. So I did pick up some really cool yarn from Melissa, and I got some yarn to do some gift knitting. You get a pair of socks every time you visit a yarn shop. Yes, that's the benefit of having a wife who's a knitter. Although you could knit your own socks if you learned, Malcolm. The other yarn store we went to was in Santa Cruz. The day we went to the beach, we went to my cousin's house. He lives about a mile inland from the beach in Santa Cruz, and we were walking into town, and I slyly had my phone up and Google Maps up and had a yarn store. Had my eye on where it was versus where we were, and our group turned down one side street, and I said, can we just go one block more? We were so close. Of course, not everybody wanted to go, but my aunt and I and V went over to the little small, I'm gonna call everything the little yarn shop, LYS that was there in Santa Cruz. I think it's called Yarn Shop Santa Cruz. A really cute place. As it turns out, that day, my aunt got over to my other aunt and uncle's house, and we both had our Anchors sweaters on, our Anchors shirts, Anchors tee. The one that I did out of the Malabrigo cotton with that really pretty coral color and then the kind of oranges. I did wear quite a bit of hand knits while I was out there. I was felt pretty fortunate that I was able to do that. So I had my Anchors shirt on, and she had one on as well in like a navy color. And I don't think I've posted that picture, so I'll have to do that sometime this week. I should have done that while we were there, but I didn't think about it. I was too focused on yarn and water and sand. So found a couple things there too. I always ask if the shops have something that's unique to them, either a yarn that's dyed for them, or if they have something that's locally dyed. And they did have somebody who, I can't remember the name of the yarn, deep sea, underwater, something. But I picked up a couple skeins of some beautiful, somewhere between a heavy lace weight and a light fingering weight yarn. For 100-gram skein, it was around 500 yards. So my aunt was a lot more intentional. She just bought yarn for a specific project. She likes to do socks too, so she bought yarn for socks. I just buy yarn to buy yarn, you guys. I come by it naturally. I understand where all of you are coming from every time you come in here and go, dang it, something else really cool. So we spent a week in California. We came back last Monday. I was planning on doing a live, and then I found out that my husband was getting an award that, yes, they call it citations, which has always seemed odd to me. And I think it was Mondo last week said something about the citation being a bad thing, but a commendation basically is what he got. We had to go to the city commission meeting and I don't know, they did a whole presentation. It was pretty cool. So that's where I was last Monday. And then we went out for drinks to celebrate. What else has been going on? Victoria and I, of course, have been doing coffee. I don't remember if we did a coffee shop. I know we went to a couple different coffee shops in California, but I can't remember if we did a Sunday coffee. We must have. This past Sunday, which would be yesterday, we didn't get a chance to go. It's been yesterday was a busy day, you guys. The week before we went to Exquisite Goat out in Essexville, which I think is a really cool place, and they support law enforcement. We volunteered to help put on a pancake breakfast. I had shared a post about it last week. The Fraternal Order of Police for Bay City was putting on a pancake breakfast, their first, hopefully annual. And they needed volunteers, and we're happy to help. And Exquisite Goat was one of the, not Exquisite Goat, I'm confusing things, Excited Goat. There's a place my dad likes, a coffee shop called Exquisite Corpse in Port Huron. We like all the coffee shops. I did notice though that the Red Eye, for those of you who are local or coming into the area, the Red Eye coffee shop has been closed. It's in Old Town on Hamilton Street. They've been closed since the pandemic, and they have started posting that they're doing kind of pop-up hours, a couple hours every day to try and work the kinks out. So that's good news, because I think that means they're going to be pretty close to being back fully open again soon. In the past, they were one that we could do on a regular basis because they were in town and open on Sundays. So we will have to hopefully put them back in the rotation. What else happened? Why didn't we go for coffee yesterday? You guys, we got cats. And if my mom watches this, she's gonna not be very thrilled because I didn't tell her. I didn't tell my mother-in-law. We didn't tell anybody, but we got cats. We went and rescued 2 mature kitties, I would say. They were maybe 6 months old, so they're pretty big and not in that playful stage. They're more in the stage of they're like foster kids. They're a little shy, they're a little hesitant, but V and I are committed to putting in the effort to get them to warm up to us. So it was a brother and sister that we adopted from the Humane Society, brought them home yesterday, and we're slowly introducing ourselves to them and hopefully not having kitties that just want to constantly hide under the bed. So that was our day yesterday and a little bit today, trying to get them a little bit more comfortable. So they're a brother and sister. They're very bonded. They look completely different. One's a brown tabby and the other one's in like a, I don't know, creamsicle, white with orange spots. But their names are Dewey and Pearl. I figured I had to get some sort of knitting reference in there, but it's P-U-R-R-L for Pearl. You guys, I told you my mom just texted me cats. Yes, cats. But my guess is they will be not confined, but they probably will spend more of their time upstairs between V's room and the loft and the bathroom. But right now they're in the bathroom upstairs, which is her bathroom. It's a plenty big space. It's got 2 litter boxes, a play toy, a shelf, and a bed for them, and it's a big bathroom. There's plenty of space. So that's what's new in our lives. That will keep us pretty busy. New to the marketplace. There are, I don't know if you've seen many of the posts that SVRC Marketplace has been putting out there, but we've got quite a few new vendors coming in, including a coffee shop, you guys. They announced the name is called Sips in the City, SIPS, Sips in the City. They are partially owned by the same people that own Cafe 476, which is exciting because that's another local place that we love and love to support. So I have been telling people, though, I would be surprised if they are open before the new year. And I think that might be the case for quite a few of the new vendors we have coming in. It's a long process between making sure that their space is set up the way they need it and getting permits and having the health inspections done at each point along the way. Like they had their initial one here, their initial inspection last week, and they had to have that before they could even have the plumber come in and start running the lines for that. So there's a lot that goes into it, but we're excited still. So we've got a coffee shop coming in and they'll do pastries and stuff too, I believe. But where Rebecca used to be, for Rebecca's Bakery, where all the pies were, there is a vendor called Iron Dragon, and they are doing pastries. And I'm excited because I was telling people, I was hoping this was the case, but they are doing pasties. So they're doing savory and sweet pastry items, which I think is pretty cool. If you follow them on Facebook, they posted yesterday a preliminary menu for the things that they were going to have. I believe they're going to have salads too. So similar to what Rebecca had before. But I couldn't share it because it wasn't, I don't know, the little button to say share wasn't there. So go check them out. Iron Dragon Pastries. We're getting a new salad person, and I don't know if she's got a name for her store yet. We've got a new mini cupcake dessert place coming in. And then we have a place coming in that's doing all different kinds of soups and Philly cheesesteaks. So that's the type of stuff that I want to come in now. That's, that good, hearty, warm food that we want in the winter. Again, I think Iron Dragon is probably the farthest along. They posted the other day that they passed their final inspection, I think. So exciting stuff happening around here. I know when you walk around, it does look like a few empty spaces. Just know things are in the works. Rachel, who's the marketplace manager, said a week or so ago that all of the spaces that you see that look vacant are not, and they have leases signed and people ready to go into those spaces. So just be patient. So let's talk about things coming up. Halloween at the marketplace is this Saturday, noon to 4:30. So if you have littles around, kids, grandkids, nieces, nephews, bring them down to the marketplace. Last year was fantastic. We had so many trick-or-treaters come through here, and it was just a pleasure to see. And I think they'll be able to do trick-or-treating outside and inside. Westland Guidance Clinic, that's located here in the building, is also doing kind of a trick-or-treat thing. So lots of opportunities for candy coming up on Saturday. Upcoming product things. Malabrigo came out with a new yarn. I don't have it yet because, of course, they told us as vendors about it when I was in California and I couldn't get to it quickly enough. But they are coming out with a mohair silk blend yarn. So I do have it pre-ordered. It will hopefully be on its way to me soon. They did a very limited run the first time through just to see, kind of gauge how people would feel about it. So I didn't quite get in that on time, but I'm in line for the next batch. I did get a shipment of Malabrigo yarn in last week and got some restock of Rios, restock of some sock and ultimate sock. And then I got 2 bags, which would be 20 skeins of Mashita. Nope. That's what I did the first time. I accidentally ordered the wrong thing. So Mecha. So Malabrigo Mecha is a bulky yarn, 130 yards in 100 grams. There's a little label. 130 yards, 100 grams. And the 2 bags are mixed bags. Anything that you see that says single lot means it's a one of a kind. It may be like a 2 or 3 of a kind, but it means it's not a color I can get again because it doesn't actually have a color associated with it. It may be similar to, it may be similar to one of their regular colors, but they put these batches together where it's all the different skeins that didn't quite fit the parameters of their standards. So it's still really good yarn. It's still really beautiful yarn. It just can't go in the bag with all of the yarns with that specific name. So I pulled a couple just to show you guys the beautiful, beautiful colors that some of these have. This one, it just looks iridescent. It's like an opal almost, with all the different colors in there, purples, blues, and there are little bits of dark blue. I can already see all kinds of projects with this stuff. There's this one that's like, it's like a camel color, but a peachy color at the same time. I just think it's gorgeous. Again, none of them have color names. They all say single lot. They all are just lonely orphans, I guess. Then there's this purpley one. It's like a burgundy purple, kind of a wine, deep wine color, really. But then it's got some little light specks in there too. Do you see that? I don't know. Really cool. So I got 20 skeins of Mecha. We were down to none. You guys picked over everything that I had. So I'm glad I have a restock of that. What else is new? I have new needles, you guys. They came. So first there were the twist shorties, the red set. These are interchangeable sets of needles from Chaigu that make 9-inch up from 9-inch to 14-inch circumference circular knitting needles. The red set was the first one they came out with. 12 steel tips, sizes 0 to 3. So you get 2-inch and 3-inch tips and 3 different cords. Then they came out with the blue set, which is 10 sets of needles or tips, sizes 4 through 8. Then what came last week is the yellow set. The yellow set is only 4 sets of tips. They're the 3-inch tips in sizes 9 to 11. So many of you have heard me talk before. My blue set is very well loved. Anytime I'm doing sleeve sweaters, this is what I go to. The blue one is the most common for me because that's typically, I don't knit sweaters on smaller than 4s very often, except for like the slipping sideways. You guys know I like things to be done quickly. But there have been quite a few, especially like the ranunculus is done on 10s or 10.5 needles. And traditionally, you can't really get a circular needle that would work for your sleeves. You'd have to do magic loop or double points, and I avoid double points if I can at all costs. So, price wise, the red set is 129. The blue set is 119. The yellow set is 89. Because again, it doesn't come with 2 sets of each size of tips. But it comes with 9s, 10s, 10.5s, and 11s. They are the standard Chaigu tips. They're very lightweight, but still pretty pointy for being the larger sizes. And 3 cords. And these ones come with the new Swiv 360 cords, which I think is pretty cool. And grippers, and oh, you even get stitch markers in this one. Bigger stitch markers. So I had a few people pre-order those. If you pre-ordered yours to be shipped, it has been shipped and it's on its way to you. If you pre-ordered yours and you would have gotten a notification that it's available here in the shop to pick up if you chose to pick up. After that, I think I have 3 sets left. I assume I'm going to be able to reorder them. I just don't know. I don't know how quickly they're going to run out of their first batch. I ordered these the same time I ordered the Forte sets, and I wanted to talk about that a little bit because they are still coming. I know all of the sets that I have coming to me are spoken for and have been pre-ordered, most of which have been prepaid. I got an email from Chaigu, or from my Chaigu rep. Chiagu is harder to say. They ran into a couple hiccups in terms of having things the quality the way they want. So it has slowed things down a little bit, and they're also running into shipping issues with getting things through customs. I ordered all of my sets early enough that I believe I'm still going to get them before the end of the year. But fingers crossed. That's all I can say is I'm hoping I get them in the first batch, and I should. Since I ordered them the day they were announced, the day they came out when I was in Chicago this summer. So for those of you that pre-ordered, I haven't forgotten about you. You haven't missed out on it. They still are in the works, hopefully on their way to us soon, but I'm going with the under promise, over deliver of by the end of the year. If it's sooner than that, that's just gravy. What else? I got notes all over the place, and so I'm trying to keep them all straight. Oh, I did get a box. There was a box sitting by the door when I got here today, from Cascade. Some of it is restock of heritage colors that I've had before, like white, green, some of the usual suspects, but I got 4 new colors, and they are, well, maybe I only got 3 new colors, and they only sent me 3 of them. And I don't have color names because Heritage only puts color names online and only puts color numbers on their labels. So it makes it a little tricky, but it's hot pink, you guys. It's their they're calling them their highlighter colors. So this one is highlighter pink, and this is their standard Heritage sock yarn, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 100 grams, 437 yards, fingering weight or sock weight yarn. Highlighter yellow. Look at that. This is even brighter than the yellow that I have in my Magical Thinking, which is awesome. That's a color I haven't been able to get from any dyer in a while. And highlighter green. This vibrant, vibrant green. My YouTube video doesn't look very vibrant, but it is. It's a highlighter green. That's new. I have started getting in more colors of Heritage 6, which feels just like, see if I can get one out. Feels just like Heritage fingering weight, but the Heritage 6 is a sport weight yarn. Still 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 100 grams. The difference is these one have 292 yards on them, but great, easy care, machine wash and dry. Yeah, and Jackie, they are pretty colors. They're nice and bright and happy. Nicole, I think it'll match your car. I think it might even be a little bit brighter than your car, but I'll set one aside for you. So Heritage 6. I got more colors of that in. I got this beautiful purple. I got this kind of, and they look so much better out of the bags, but I don't want to make a whole bunch of noise right now. This pumpkin color. Nice kind of a sky blue, baby blue. What else do I have in here? A green, kind of a grassy green. And then, oh, just some reorders of Heritage sock. So that's new today. I do have, I should be getting more boxes this week. I've got a Cocoa Knits order on its way to me. I've got Notions orders on their way to me. You guys know I always have stuff going on. There's always more to see, which is why so many of you ask when you come in, okay, so what's new? And sometimes I have so many new things I forget. I forget what I've gotten. So I had to kind of do a walkthrough today and look and see what are the things we haven't talked about in the last couple weeks. I did start getting in some interchangeable Tunisian crochet hooks. Nicole is going to be teaching a Tunisian crochet class coming up in November, and that class sold out very quickly. So I'm hoping she'll be able to do it again. Yes, Lisa, the pattern holders are coming. And I've got a note to make sure I set one aside for you. I'm getting those, more rulers, more of the magnet sets, more stitch markers, all the good Cocoa Knits things. So Nicole's Tunisian crochet class filled up quickly. So we'll probably do another one, but they both Knitter's Pride and Chiagu make an interchangeable Tunisian crochet hook tip. So Tunisian crochet, typically what you would see is what looks like a regular crochet hook with what looks like a wire from circular knitting needles attached to it. And it creates this fabric that's like a combination of crochet and knitting and weaving. And she's got a couple samples here, so I figured I would pull one and show it to you. So this is the fabric that it creates, this really cool woven look. Depending on how you style it, could be a completely different look, but it's for classes to teach just a straight. Look at how cozy that looks. Oh, couldn't figure out what was on the front, but it's the tag for the yarn. A rectangle that then you put a buttonhole on, and a really cool button. And it's pretty versatile. She did 3 of them with 3 different yarns. This one's done obviously with a variegated yarn. Look at how cool that looks. It's almost like a little argyle. There's the argyle. So neat. So one was done with Malabrigo Chunky. The periwinkle one was done with Malabrigo Chunky. The The Argyle one was done with Cascade 128 superwash. And then this green cucumber one was done with Malabrigo Rasta. So I believe she used the same hook size on both of these, and clearly you can see one's a much drapier fabric, one's a little bit more firm. So really cool options. But I decided to bring in some of the interchangeable tips because for those of you who have any Knitter's Pride interchangeable needles or Chiagu interchangeable needles, those cords will work with the Tunisian crochet hook tips. So for those who are taking the class, I will have some of those here in the shop. They only go up to an N size though, and I think some people might have to use a size P, but we'll have all of that too. So Tunisian crochets, really cool. I'm hoping to just do more and see more of that around here because I think it's such a neat design. There's this Tunisian crochet vest I've had in my favorites forever. Someday I'll get to it. I think that's all we've got going on. I have had people ask me if I'm going to do the 12 days of Christmas or any sort of Christmas deals. I do plan on doing that. It probably will start mid-November. And I just need to get with my Notions reps and make sure that things will be in stock that I want to have in stock and to offer. There hasn't been as much in terms of Notions that are back ordered, but I know as we get closer to the holidays, it gets trickier and trickier. So if you're in the market for a really nice ball winder and Swift, keep an eye out because that's usually one of the first ones I like to do is offer a combo at a discount. Makes a great Christmas present for yourself or for your spouse to get for you. Along with anything else, tell anybody who asks what you want for Christmas to get your gift certificate from here. We can do any dollar amount. They're blank, so we can put it for $10. We can put it for $200. There also are going to be some deals for that coming up. You guys know I usually do for Small Business Saturday, Black Friday and Small Business Saturday, gift certificate deals. So make sure that you let your loved ones know that's when they need to come get certificates for you. So you get a little bonus bucks in there with it. All right. I think I went through everything on my list. I'm sure I missed some things, but now I think back to regularly scheduled programming in terms of being here on Monday evenings. Unless something unforeseen comes up, and then obviously things might change, but I want to get back to it. I miss everybody. I miss chatting with you guys. And yeah, I think that's it. Stop in and see us this week, Wednesday through Saturday, 10 to 6. Everything inside the marketplace is open. We're here late Thursday evenings for open knit. This past Thursday, quite a few of you showed up for open knitting, which is awesome. Overwhelmed the restaurant a little bit because they also happen to have a busy day, but I love it. I love having a shop full. I wish I could have stayed and hung out with everybody. So yeah, I guess that's it for us. If we don't see you in the shop in the next week, I will see everybody right here on either Facebook or YouTube if I get myself situated right, next Monday at 7 o'clock. All right. Have a great week. Enjoy the beautiful weather and get some knitting, crochet, all kinds of creative things. Get it done.